Hi, this is Angela Clark from Threadwaggle Quilting and APQS Raleigh, and today I'm going to be placing this design into 8 places on my Dream Big leaf pattern by Hoffman. What I'm going to need to start out by doing is using the marking tool. So I'm going to go to Toolbox and then choose my marking tool. I can either do it down here or I can do it up on the top right. They both do the same thing. If you do plugins and then marking tool, or the toolbox and marking tool, they do the exact same thing. So the first thing I need to do is mark all of my leaves. This is my Dream Big leaf panel that we started the other day. What I've already quilted is the outside here is all quilted with the pantograph. And I did keep out on the design, what's called messy braid, this pantograph. And then inside of this yellow flower, I did keep in and use something called circle play to make pebbles in there. The last thing I need to do is quilt these 8 leaves around the outside. So I'm going to be using multi-placement to do that. And I'm going to start out by marking the leaves. So I actually want to mark around the entire leaf to do this. So I will be doing 8 marks. Let me go ahead and start that so that you can see what I mean. I'm going to do the first mark and then I'm going to come back and zoom in on my tablet so you can see what I mean about adding marks. So this would be a lot easier if I was using a different foot. I'm going to go ahead and just use my scoop foot because most of the time we use this machine to do edge-to-edge quilting. But like I said, it would be a lot easier if I was using a different foot on here. You can see the leaf that I just put in, it's in the orange. And I'm going to add a mark, and I'm just going to name it number 2. Whichever one is highlighted down here is the one you're working on. So I'm going to start with mark number 2 and I'm going to add points and then I'm going to continue around this, and in the end I will have 8 marks down here. So now I have the outer leaves done, and when I came around this last leaf, I went around the yellow leaf as well. So all I need to do is start placing my design. So the way that I want to do this is I want to go back to placements on my toolbox, and I'm going to choose 2-point, and I want to use 2-point fit is the one that I want to use. What that's going to let me do is resize this design and place it at the same time. I will be coming over here and deciding where I want my design to be, where I think that the start point is going to start. Okay, and it's going to tell me I'm outside the clipped area, and that's okay because I set very close to this so it would look larger for on the video. Then if I come over to this side, I can tap my second point. Okay, and you can see that's not quite where I need it to be. It's not rotated correctly, so I would keep playing with this until I got it exactly where I wanted it to be, which I think I need to actually bring the other side up. Okay, and you can see me kind of playing with this, right? Trying to get it exactly where I want it to go. Now, there's an easier way to do that. And that, where I have it right now is actually pretty darn close. If I zoom in on it and I drag it down so I can see it, it is pretty close. I can get it a little bit closer to this though. And I can do that by sitting here and playing both of the start and end points again. So I think that's about where I need to send my start point. And then if I look at my end point, I'm going to bring it up a little bit over here. That's too far. Let me go over here a little bit. So I am literally playing with my start and end point to resize this and get it to work. Now, I'm having to hit this button multiple times to get it exactly where I want it. I was closer a minute ago. So I'm going to try to get this, oops, that's not the right direction. Trying to get it a little bit closer. Now, I hit these buttons a whole lot when I'm doing it. You can tell that, right? So I'm pretty sure this really is where I want that start point to be. It may need to be just a little bit higher up in this point. Let's see what it looks like there. Okay, I'm going to do that. That's going to tuck those points way up in here. Now I want to play with this one over here, but I don't want to keep having to put my hand up on the screen, right? Because putting my hand up on the screen means I'm taking my hands off of my long arm, right? So what I want to do is close my tool windows, which there was a little caret there, and I'm going to tap on this Instaplace. What Instaplace is going to do, it's going to isolate these nodes for me. So right now the node that is isolated is my start point. There's a yellow circle around it, and I want it to be my end point. So I'm going to hit the select button again, and it's going to change to the next node. What this lets me do is use my finger mouse to get this more accurate. I mean, you could be touching on your screen too, if you wanted to isolate this one and then sit here and touch on the screen, you could definitely do that. But to be quite honest, you're going to be touching right on that node anyway, so there's not really a huge reason to be doing that. But you can see how I can just finesse this teeny weeny little bits by moving my mouse a little bit, or moving my long arm a little bit and tapping on the right mouse key. So I'm looking up here too, to try to see if I can get it to be really close to that line and not hopefully stitch over it, and still get this up into here is what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm just finagling it just a smidge. Okay, I like where that is. I'm going to actually play with this point one more time, because when I was setting it earlier, I was setting them way up on that when I was testing it. I was setting it just a little bit higher. There we go. Okay, so that makes me happy, guys, where that is right now. But I don't want to place just one of these, right? I want to place multiple of these at a time. So I want to do all 8 of these, place them all, and then go ahead and place, and then sew them all, right? So I don't want to place just one of these. I want to place 8 of them, and then sew all 8 at one time. So the way that I would do that is to go to multi-placement, which is this button right here. And it's going to tell me that once a component is captured, it will be highlighted blue and ready to be sewn. So when I say okay, it's going to change my design to gray. That's fine. All I have to do to capture that is to say I want to place my pattern. And it's asked me if I want to place it again, and I'm going to say yes. So it's turned blue, and I am ready to go to the next one. So, and I know roughly where I want these to be now, right? So if I change this so that you can see down on the surface of my quilt, I need it to go from about here. And I think the next part one I had was over here. So I'm going to do select and go over here, and I'm going to zoom out because I need to be able to see what I'm doing. And that actually looks really good on my screen. Now, I'm going to pull it back up for a second so you can see what I'm about to say. Now, I traced all the way around my leaves, but this leaf, there is no outlining in here. So the fact that it's curling over that outline is fine, because there's actually no stitching there. The stitching actually just goes around the outside of it. So I'm fine that I have that swirl there. It's going to make it look a lot more full when it's being stitched. So I think it looks perfect, and I'm going to hit pattern. So it selects that one, right? And then it places it, turned it blue. Yes, I want to place it again. So I'm going to go ahead and focus in on the quilt and do the rest of these and show you just how fast I can place these designs, because it is quick. It's going to take me a little bit longer to do because I need to position my long arm and my camera so you can see. Let's go like that, right? Sorry about that quick movement on the camera, but I'm going to zoom back out again so I can see the whole thing. I have my start point selected, so I'm going to do start point and then come over here, change my select button and do end point. It didn't take my start point for some reason. We're going to come back up here and do start point. And I'm going to zoom. I always have to zoom in just a little bit to make sure that it's right where I want it. Actually, I think I want to go down just a smidge on my start point. Perfect. Now I'm going to do the next one. So you can see when I say no to this, because I don't want to place it again, that I have completely ringed my center with these leaves. And they're going to fill in really nicely because they're hitting really close to these lines or over these lines, so I know that they're going to fill. So I'm going to go ahead and hit quilt. There are going to be some jump points in this. The start and ends do not match. And that's fine. It's okay. I know it's going to happen. I don't want to optimize them out. I do want to make sure that my setting right now, that pause at trim lines, is checked. I'm also going to increase my tie-offs a little bit and say okay. And that's just because I'm using glide, so I want to make sure that it's going to attach well. And then it shows me that my start point is way up here. Sorry, way up here, right? So I'm going to move my long arm close to that point because I can see that in my screen. And I am going to do toolbox, move to start point, because that's my preferred way to bring up bobbin. Do needle down, needle up, move my long arm, grab both, right? Kind of twist them around my fingers so that they've got a little tension on it. I'm going to get my handles out of the way so we can see what's going, and I'm going to hit sew. and just that fast, I'm completely done. It took me, with shooting the video, about an hour to quilt all 8 of those, to do the marking, to set all 8 of them, to quilt all 8 of them. If I had not been doing a videotape, it probably would have taken me about 30 minutes to do it. So it is super, super quick, guys. I want to thank you guys for viewing my video. If you like my Quilt Path videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my videos. That's how I know you like them. I also really appreciate comments and look forward to doing more videos for you. Tell me what you guys want to see.